Hello and welcome back to Bold TV. Now, let's talk about habits and the unique ways you can create or break a habit. Our today's featured entrepreneur created a wearable device to help you change your habits. Welcome, Maneesh Sethi. How are you doing?
Hey, it's a pleasure to chat.
Oh my God, I'm happy to have you. All right, tell us about this device. How does it work?
Sure. So it's a wearable device. You can wear it on its own, or you can mount it to like an Apple Watch or another device. So here, this is an Apple Watch, and you can see the device on the bottom. And the core idea is that people's behavior change because of stimuli. Like when you need to wake up in the morning, people will often use a alarm clock, and that sound you get kind of used to after a while. But have you ever asked somebody to come, for example, tap you on the shoulder to wake you up? You get out of bed immediately. So we created a wearable device that allows people to use physical touch to allow people to change habits. The core habit, of course, is waking up early in the morning, where by far the world's best alarm clock, we use a vibration and then a beep and then an electrical stimulus called a snap that gets you awake and gets you up. And for heavy sleepers, you can only disable it by doing jumping jacks or scanning a QR code. So that's like one of the core uses, waking up. And our core focus and mission is how do we help people set the goals they want to change and then achieve them.
Well, you mentioned waking up in the morning, and obviously everybody can relate to hitting snooze and an alarm. What are some other habits that this would work for?
Sure, it depends on the kind of goal. What are some habits you want to change? You trying to form a habit? What's your new
I'd like
resolution?
to be more consistent with the way that I go to the gym.
Awesome. So you want to make sure you get to the gym. So we have a module in the app where you set essentially you join a community of people and you make a commitment to go to the gym. The device is able with your app to know where you are, and you put down it's essentially like a fake currency. It's a point system.
Mm-hmm.
And the days that you get there on time, you win those points from other people who didn't get there on time. So we have like a betting pool, for example, where you join a community and you compete against other people to get to the gym on time based on your goals. So depending on your habit, we have specific pathways to help people get there based on clinical science and based on psychology that make sure that people actually achieve those goals.
Interesting. And where did the idea for this come from?
Yeah, I used to have a lot of trouble staying focused. I was diagnosed ADHD, and I had trouble getting stuff done. But I started to notice that when I did experiments on myself to make myself more productive. And in one experiment, I hired a girl to sit down next to me, and every time I wasted time online, she would slap me in the face.
Oh.
And I tracked my productivity, and I wrote 4 months of content in 4 days. And I realized the ability of having a little bit of basically having accountability plus, a threat of a stimulus led to ridiculous results. So I said, how can I scale this? You can't scale slapping. Well,
Right.
maybe I can create a wearable that allows me to put that same psychology into a device. And I mean, since then, obviously, my productivity skyrocketed, as well as the hundreds of thousands of users that use the Pavlok.
Interesting. Now, most of us probably don't have someone around to just slap us, and probably not somebody we would want to have around very long. How did you actually build a prototype and manufacturing the device for people to actually use? How did that come about?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy actually to think back that we pulled this off. Because almost every hardware device raises tens of millions of dollars to get into production. For me, we bought like a device that already existed, like a remote control vibrating device. And we said, hey, could we just make this as a funny prototype for a funny blog post? And my friend ripped apart the remote control and he used this thing called Arduino just for a 1-day prototype. It basically said, if you go on Facebook, then connect the 2 wires. And that was a funny prototype, but I was about to publish the video. I thought it would go viral, but then I thought to myself, this is actually really interesting. What if we made this into a real device to help people? So I submitted that video to an incubator, like a startup accelerator called Bolt in Boston. And they decided to give me 1 year free office space as well as access to engineers and manufacturing knowledge. And they helped me take my idea to prototype. From there, we put it on Indiegogo, like crowdfunding, Kickstarter. And we raised about almost $300,000 to help us take that prototype into production. And since then, it's been flying off the shelves, especially once we released it as an alarm clock.
Okay, so have you raised venture funding, and what are numbers looking like now, if you can share, in terms
Sure,
of sales?
we have not raised venture funding. We
Okay.
raised a total of $50,000 from the incubator that invested in us on day one. So that was before we started. Since then, we've taken a few losses, but we've basically built a complete business on profit. So for the first 5 years, we lost a lot of money. And then around year 4 or year 5, the tide started to switch. And now, ever since especially the last year, we've finally cracked the code and it's starting to grow and we have supply chain. It's like, I could talk about this for hours, but like getting a hardware supply chain, people don't realize how difficult hardware is. You just think things are made. But like, a software app is difficult enough to make, but a hardware wearable requires, you still have to have the software programmers, but you also need fulfillment, supply chain, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering. The thing that's crazy to me is that like, I've been noticing that if you look at technology these days, like everybody, like this is the same phone that came out 11 years ago, right?
Right.
Like the iPhone 1 looks almost the same as every phone that exists in the world today.
Right.
And I think that it's because the kind of people who are good at getting to the high levels of consumer electronics companies, on average, are engineer type personalities. They're copiers. They do things better, but they don't do new things.
Right.
And so it's really rare that you find somebody like, for example, Steve Jobs, who actually has ideas that are brand new.
Right. It's very rare.
And I think that I'm lucky enough to be one of the few people who got to the top of a consumer electronics company, but also doesn't have the creative mindset, not the finishing mindset. And I think when you put those two people together, somebody with great ideas and a team of engineers who can take those ideas into reality, you can start to do really great things. And so like right now, I'm really loving this because not very many people in the world know how to build hardware from scratch. And I'm one of the few people who I think I have great ideas, but also I have a supply chain and a team of engineers who can help me build those ideas.
Right.
And so right now, I'm just in love with with what we're doing, because now every problem I see, I'm like, how am I going to build an electronic solution for this? I can't wait to do
Right. Now you're hungry. You want to build more. Now, where can people find the Pavlok?
Yeah, the best place to get it is at pavlok.com, Pavlok.com. And we have a really cool $49 challenge for the new year. You get a Pavlok 3 plus a group challenge where you set your goals and you stick to them. And if all you want is the device to wake up in the morning, the best place is probably, you can check it out on our website, pavlok.com, or you can go to Amazon, look up the Shock Clock 2. That's the best product we have for waking up early, and you'll see all the reviews and see how it works. So Shock Clock 2 for waking up, Pavlok 3 for changing your habits.
All right, and this is perfect for people out there looking for New Year's resolutions and how to actually stick with them. This might be a way. Manish, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
And thank you all for watching. Of course, follow Bold TV on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So long for now, and have a great day.